The rain was coming down like needles over Manhattan. It made the streets look like they were filled with neon lights. Cassius Thorne was sitting in the back of his Mercedes. It was a car that could protect him. He was just sitting there not moving and looking out the windows. The windows were special, they were tinted. He was watching the city go by fast. Cassius Thorne is 600 years old. That is a long time. He has seen a lot of things happen. Big groups of people have become powerful. Then they have fallen apart. The last 6 months have felt really long to Cassius Thorne. They have felt longer than some centuries. The driver of the car, Bernard, looked back at his boss in the mirror. He was a little worried. "Sir, you have a meeting with the board of directors in 20 minutes. The roads are really bad because of the storm. There are a lot of cars on the road. The meeting is very important. You do not want to be late." Bernard said this because he knew his boss would be upset if he was late to the board meeting. The storm was making the traffic very heavy. Bernard was getting nervous. He wanted to make sure his boss got to the meeting on time. The board meeting was something his boss had to be at, and Bernard was trying to help him get there. Cassius said they will wait, and you could tell by the sound of his voice that he was not a man to be argued with. He was the boss of Thorne Industries when the sun was up, and when the sun went down he was the king of the Northeast Territories. Every single vampire from Boston to Washington did what Cassius said because Cassius was the king of the Northeast Territories, and they all answered to Cassius. Tonight was different. None of the things that usually mattered to him made a difference tonight. Tonight he was a man who had done something very bad. He had made the mistake of his life as an immortal. The worst mistake of his life was all he could think about tonight. 6 months, 2 weeks, and 4 days. That is how long it has been since he signed the divorce papers with Emma. He remembers the day he looked into Emma's eyes. They were filled with tears. He told Emma a lie that was very hurtful. He said to Emma, "I do not love you anymore. You are holding me back from what I want to do with my life, from the things that I want for myself, from my destiny, from the life I want to have." He did this to save her life. The old world vampires who were his enemies had been threatening anyone who was connected to him. They saw a wife as something that made him weak, something they could use against him. So he let her go, gave her a lot of money, and walked away before she could see how sad it made him. He had to leave her to protect her from the old world vampires who wanted to hurt him. The car slowed down at a light near Central Park. People were walking fast across the street with their umbrellas. They wanted to get out of the rain. Cassius watched the people with the feeling that a hunter has when it sees something it wants to catch. Cassius was looking at the people near Central Park. Then his entire world just stopped completely. A woman got off the curb. Had a hard time with her umbrella. The wind had blown it inside out. Her hair was stuck to her face because of the rain. It was a yellow color. She wore a raincoat that was not very good. It looked old. What really caught Cassius' attention was her face. It made Cassius' heart feel something. This was weird because Cassius' heart had not felt anything for a long time. 600 years. The woman's face made Cassius' heart jump in his chest. Emma. His Emma. Something was not the same. She was really struggling with the umbrella. The wind grabbed her coat. Pulled it open for a second. What Cassius saw on her under the coat made Cassius stop breathing. Her belly was swollen, round, unmistakably pregnant. Cassius said, "Stop the car," in a quiet voice. He really meant it when he said stop the car. Cassius wanted the car to stop away. "The light is going to change, sir. We should get ready to go because the light is about to change. Stop the car now." The command was really powerful. Bernard hit the brakes hard that the tires made a loud noise on the wet road. The car behind them honked the horn because they were upset. Cassius was already opening the door of the car. Cassius did this because the command had an effect on him and he had to get out of the car right away. The command was still on Cassius' mind as he got out of the car. His mind was thinking about things that did not add up. 6 months had passed. The woman looked like she was going to have a baby soon, at least 7 months pregnant, maybe even more. This meant that she was pregnant when he and her were still married, or she got pregnant right after they got divorced. The second option really got to him. It made him feel very angry and possessive. Somebody else had touched the woman he cared about, had given her something that Cassius could never give her. The thing is, vampires cannot have kids. They live forever, but they cannot create life. It is how it is with vampires. Emma was halfway across the street when Cassius called out to Emma. He said, "Emma." The sound of his voice was really loud. It cut right through all the noise from the traffic and the rain. She just stopped moving all of a sudden, right in the middle of taking a step. Then she turned around really slowly. When Cassius looked into her eyes, he saw that she was completely scared, and for a moment Cassius saw fear on the face of the woman, and Cassius knew that the woman was terrified of Cassius. The woman did not smile. The woman did not cry. The woman turned around. She ran away from that place. "Emma, wait." Cassius moved fast. He was like a blur. The rain made it hard to see, so it would have looked like a trick to people. He caught Emma's arm. He was gentle. He did not want to hurt her. He did not use all his strength. "Please just stop," he said to Emma. "Let me go, Cassius," she said, trying to pull from Cassius. Her heart was beating fast, so fast that Cassius could hear it beating. Cassius could even smell the adrenaline that was rushing through her body. "You made your choice," she told Cassius. "Now leave me alone," she said to Cassius. "The doctor said, you are pregnant." These words sounded like the doctor was blaming her. They were mean and full of hurt that the doctor could not conceal. The words, "you are pregnant," felt like a punch to her stomach. Emma's free hand went to her stomach to keep it safe. "That is none of your business. We are divorced, remember? You said that was what you wanted, and you made it very clear." Cassius looked down at her stomach, back to her face. He was an old being, a creature that always thought things through, but right now he felt like he was sinking. Cassius wanted to know something. Who is the father of her baby? What is it to you that makes you care much? You seem to be really interested in this. Why do companies like yours care about the things you care about? Tell me his name, Emma. Go to hell. She said this and her voice started to shake because she was really upset. You do not get to divorce me, tell me that I was a mistake, and then ask me a lot of questions about my life. You do not get to do that after what you did to our marriage and to me. Rain came down on Cassius and the woman. Cassius knew that people were looking at them. Cars were honking around them. Cassius did not care about that. The woman was standing in front of him. Cassius could not stop looking at her big belly. It was really big. Cassius was shocked by how big her belly was. The woman and her belly were all that Cassius was thinking about. He asked her, "How long are you in your pregnancy?" He really wanted to know. He was being very serious. The woman was going to have a baby. He needed to know how far along she was. Emma said, 5 months. That was not true. She said it really fast. When she lied, her heart started beating fast because she was not telling the truth. Her heartbeat got really strong with the lie she told. Cassius said, "You are lying." Cassius stepped closer to her, using his height to block the rain from falling on her. "You are at least 7 months pregnant, maybe even more than that. This means you were already pregnant when I met you," Cassius thought to himself. Now he was standing there looking at her. He could not help but think about the fact that she was pregnant with a baby, and Cassius was trying to figure out what that meant for him and for her and for the baby. He did not finish the sentence. The implications of what he was saying were really staggering. The implications were very serious. Had a big effect on him. Emma said this with a lot of anger. "When you threw me out like garbage," she asked Cassius. Yes, Cassius. Congratulations on your timing, Emma told him. She was really upset. Cassius' hand went to Emma's stomach without him thinking about it. Emma jumped a little. She did not move away. Cassius put his palm on the part of Emma's belly, and what he felt was very scary. He was really worried about Emma and the baby. Cassius' blood felt like it was freezing in his body when he touched Emma's stomach. Emma was still and quiet, waiting to see what Cassius would do next. Cassius kept his hand on Emma's belly, feeling the baby inside her. A heartbeat. It was strong and steady. It did not feel right. Human babies have fast heartbeats like the wings of a hummingbird when it flies. This heartbeat was slow and powerful. Beneath it, Cassius felt something that made the old instincts inside of him scream with recognition. The heartbeat was like nothing Cassius had felt before. It was the heartbeat of something. Cassius knew that something was not human. The heartbeat of this thing was strong. It was like a drum beating in Cassius' ears. It was getting louder. Cassius felt the heartbeat. It was the heartbeat. It was making his old instincts scream. Power. Raw, supernatural power. This child, he said in a quiet voice. His voice was shaking. Emma, he asked, whose child is this child really? Tears mixed with rain on her face. She said, does it really matter? You did not want the woman. You made that very clear to the woman. Look at me, Cassius said to her. He lifted her chin so she had to look into his eyes. Tell me the truth, he told the woman. Did you meet someone after our divorce? Because if the baby is 7 months along and we got divorced 6 months ago, Cassius wanted to know what that meant for the baby. He was trying to figure out if the baby was his. Emma shouted this out loud, finally breaking down. She said, I have not met anyone else. There has been no person in her life, Cassius. The music artist Cassius. There could never be anyone for her. Cassius destroyed her when he left her. Does Cassius understand that? Cassius was her world and Cassius shattered it when he went away. Cassius felt like something big had hit him. He said, then this child is mine. Emma whispered that it was impossible. She did not really sound like she believed it. Vampires cannot have children, Emma said. Everyone knows that vampires are not able to have kids. Cassius said that vampires cannot do things. He was thinking hard. There are stories about this. These stories were from before the Great Purge happened. They are about dampirs. Dampirs are the children of fathers and human mothers. They are half vampire. The stories say that dampirs are very powerful. They can do things that vampires and humans cannot do. Dampirs can walk in the sunlight. They are also very strong, like vampires. The council was afraid of dampirs and their power. So they tried to kill all of the dampirs. This happened a time ago, about 500 years ago. The council thought that dampirs were too powerful and they did not want them around. Emma's face had turned completely white. You are saying that our baby is one of these things? Our baby might be the one born in a very long time, like 500 years. Cassius' face turned fierce. He looked really protective. If the Vampire Council finds out about this, they will kill our baby. They will kill you too. The Vampire Council will also destroy anyone who knows that our baby exists. Emma suddenly swayed, like she was responding to what he said. Her eyes rolled back. She started to fall down. Cassius caught Emma before she hit the pavement. He lifted Emma easily into his arms. Emma, he called out, saying her name again, Emma. He was really scared, a feeling he had not had for a long time. Emma's skin felt like ice, it was so cold. Her heart was beating slowly and weakly. Now that he was really looking at Emma, he saw that she looked very sick. There were dark circles under Emma's eyes and her cheekbones looked too sharp. Bernard, Cassius yelled, walking back to the car. We need to call Dr. Julian now. Tell Dr. Julian to come to the penthouse soon as he can. This is a problem and we have to take care of it. We have to see Dr. Julian at the penthouse immediately because it's an emergency with the situation we are in. Cassius said to tell Dr. Julian that he has to meet us at the penthouse. He got into the seat and held Emma close to his chest. The car was moving fast on the wet streets. Cassius looked at Emma, the woman he loved, and he could not help but notice her belly. Emma was going to have a baby. The baby was his. Cassius had never stopped loving Emma. He loved her much and now she was having his child. He said sorry, whispering it. He brushed the wet hair from her forehead. He was really sorry, his love. He thought he was keeping her safe. He did not know what was going on. The thing is, he really did not know what was happening with her. He kept saying it that he was sorry, his love. The car stopped fast in the private garage under Thorn Tower. Cassius picked up Emma. Took her to his own special elevator. This elevator went up high all the way to the top of the building, 80 floors up to his apartment. When the doors of the elevator opened, Dr. Julian was already there, in the apartment. He had his bag of medical stuff open and all his equipment was laid out on the dining table. Dr. Julian was a vampire. He was one of the doctors around. A time ago he was a surgeon when the Roman Empire was still alive. He knew much about medicine that most doctors today would not even come close. Dr. Julian looked at Emma. His old face turned white. Cassius, we need to act because her life signs are getting weaker by the second. We have to lay her down on the table now. Cassius put her down gently. Then Dr. Julian started to check her out. He used scissors to cut off her clothes so he could see her big belly. When the clothes came off, Dr. Julian saw her pale skin was stretched out over her stomach. The doctor was really surprised. Dr. Julian just gasped at the sight of her stomach. By the gods, Julian said slowly. The energy that is coming from this child is really something. Cassius, I think this kid is a damper. This is a damper, I am telling you. Cassius, we are looking at a damper here. Can you save her? Cassius said loudly. His hands were holding the table tightly, the wood actually cracked. Julian said that the baby is taking a lot of energy from Emma's body. He got out some tools. The baby is a damper, so it needs a lot of energy to grow. Because Emma is human, the baby is basically eating away at her from the inside. She is very weak, does not have food in her body, and her organs are getting sick. Julian asked if Emma has been taking any medicine to help her. Has she been drinking any blood to make her stronger? The baby is a damper. It is hurting Emma very badly. Julian wanted to know if Emma has been taking any supplements for the damper baby. Cassius said that she has been alone. The words felt bad when he said them. He gave her $50 million when they got divorced. She could have had the doctors and hospitals in the world the best medical care because of the $50 million he gave her. Julian pulled out Emma's wallet from her coat that she had thrown away. Inside the wallet he found a debit card that was broken, $17 in cash, and a bottle of vitamins that Emma had bought from a cheap pharmacy. There were no credit cards in the wallet. No sign of the money that Cassius had given to Emma. The prenatal vitamins were a brand from a discount pharmacy. Cassius said this loud. He realized something. She took nothing, Cassius thought to himself. His voice was shaking. She had his child inside her, Cassius remembered. She took nothing from Cassius. We will talk about her pride sometime, Julian said quickly, already getting an for ready. What I need to do now is get some synthetic blood and food into the woman's body as soon as possible, or she will not make it through the night. Cassius, there is something else you should know about the woman. What? If I am reading these energy signatures correctly, the woman is not 7 months pregnant. The woman is 9 months pregnant. The baby could be born at any moment now. The woman is very close to giving birth to her child. The child could arrive any day now. Cassius felt the world spin around him. It had been 9 months. Emma was having a baby when Cassius divorced her. She had to go through a lot of pain for 6 months because of the way Cassius treated her. Cassius thought about how Emma had carried his child all that time even when things were really bad between them because of what Cassius did to her. Emma's eyes slowly opened. She looked up at Cassius. Felt confused. Then she remembered who he was and that made her angry. "Where am I?" she asked Cassius. "My penthouse," Cassius said softly. "You fell down. Now Dr. Julian is taking care of you." The woman said, "I do not want to be." She tried to sit up. Julian gently pushed the woman back down. "Mrs. Thorne, please do not move. You are in a serious condition, Mrs. Thorne. The doctors are really worried about Mrs. Thorne. They need you to stay still so they can help Mrs. Thorne get better." Emma said that she is not Mrs. Thorne anymore. This is a sad thing for her to say. He did something to make sure that she is not Mrs. Thorne anymore. Emma said this with a lot of bitterness in her voice. The thing that he did has really hurt Emma. Now she is not Mrs. Thorne. "Emma, listen to me," Cassius said as he leaned over her. His face was really intense. "I know you do not like me. You have a good reason for that. But the baby you are going to have is a damper. Do you know what that means? If the Vampire High Council finds out about the baby, they will send people to kill it. The Vampire High Council will not think twice. They will not feel sorry for the baby or you. The Vampire High Council will just do it. Then Emma will run," she whispered to herself, tears falling down her face. "Emma will. They will never find Emma and the people she is with." Cassius said to Emma, "You can hardly take a step." He spoke in a voice. "Emma, you are dying. The baby is too much for your body. Your body is not strong enough to carry the baby. If you do not get the help you need, Emma, you will be gone in a few days. It could be sooner, Emma." She was crying hard and she said, "Then let me die." She wanted her baby to be okay, so she said, "At least my baby will survive." "No." The word came out as a growl. It was primal and absolute. "You will not die. I will not let that happen. I failed you once. That is a fact. I failed the person I care about. That will not happen again. The person I care about, you will not die. I will do everything to make sure that does not happen. I will not fail the person I care about again. The person I care about, you, is important to me." He turned to Julian. "Just do what you have to do to make sure she is okay. I do not care how much it costs or how bad it might be for her. Just make sure the woman is stable. That is all that matters to me. Do whatever it takes to help Julian. I really mean that. Do whatever it takes to help her." Julian said this slowly. "There is one treatment that might actually work for this problem," he said. "The treatment for this problem is dangerous. It is also irreversible. The treatment is." Julian was being very careful with what he was saying about the treatment. "Tell me. I can give her some of your blood, Cassius. Just a little, not enough to make her like you. Enough to make her body stronger. This will make a connection between you and her. It is only for a short time. It might help her have strength to have the baby." Emma's eyes got wide. "No, I do not want that all." Emma does not want anything from him. "Julian said this to me in a straightforward way. If I do this, then I am putting myself and my child in a lot of danger. We will probably die. I know I am being very proud, but being proud does not mean we will be safe. My pride is not going to save me or my child. Julian is saying that my child and I will not survive because of my pride." Cassius rolled up his sleeve without hesitation. He said, "Do it take much blood as Cassius' friend needs from Cassius?" "Cassius, do not do this," Emma said to him. "Please," she asked, "just let her go now. You already made your choice, Cassius. Now Emma wants you to let her go. He got down on his knees beside the table. Took Emma's cold hand in his hand. I made a decision, he said to her. I thought I was keeping Emma safe by staying from her, but that was not true. I was just scared. My fear was in charge of me. It almost ruined the one thing that really matters to me in this world. He spoke quietly now. I love Emma, he told her. I never stopped loving Emma. I will spend the rest of my life making up for what I did to you. I want to make things right. I am going to do that for the rest of my very long life. The rest of my life will be about making up for what I did to you. Emma looked at him closely, trying to see if he was telling the truth. Cassius Thorne, the Vampire King, had been fooling people for a long time, more than 600 years. Cassius Thorne was being completely honest, and that was something he did not do very often. Cassius Thorne, the Vampire King, was telling the truth. That was really surprising. She asked in a quiet voice, "Is this really your baby?" "Yes. People told me it could not be done." "How is this possible when everyone said it was impossible?" "I just do not understand how the impossible thing is now happening with the task that everyone said was impossible. We did something that nobody thought was possible." A small smile came on his face. It was a sad smile. "We always worked well together, the two of us. We made a great team." Dr. Julian cleared his throat. "I do not want to interrupt this moment. The situation is very serious. Emma, I need you to say it is okay. Will you let them give you the blood transfusion, Emma?" Emma looked at her belly, feeling the baby moving around inside her. The baby was moving a lot. Then she looked back at Cassius. She saw how much he wanted everything to be okay. She saw the love in his eyes for her and the baby. Emma felt bad for Cassius because he looked so worried. The baby, inside Emma, was very active. She could feel it kicking her all the time. Cassius loved Emma and the baby much. "Okay," she whispered softly. "Do the thing she was asking for." Julian was moving fast, putting in the needles and hooking up the tubes. When Cassius' old and powerful blood started going into Emma's body, she let out a big breath. Emma felt warmth over her body, and it was like it was pushing away the cold, tired feeling that had been bothering her for a long time. The blood from Cassius was really strong. It was helping Emma feel better. "The change is going to take a time," Julian said. "She needs to sleep. She needs to eat. The damper will want blood now because there is stuff inside her body. The damper will really crave blood." Cassius said, "I will handle it." He picked Emma up from the table. Carried her to his bedroom. "You need to rest, my love. You are safe now. I promise that you are safe with me, my love, Cassius." As he laid Emma on his bed, Emma caught his wrist. "Cassius, you said you divorced Emma to protect Emma. What were you trying to protect Emma from, Cassius?" His jaw tightened. "There are some people in the world who did not like that we were married. They thought our marriage was a weakness. These people said they would hurt you to get to me. I thought that if I stayed away from you, they would leave you alone. I was trying to protect you from the world. The vampire world saw our marriage as a problem. They wanted to use you against me." Emma asked him, "Did someone tell you that you should divorce me?" She noticed that he was hesitant to answer her, and her new senses were really good at picking up on things like that. "It does not matter now. It really matters to me." "Who was the person, Cassius?" He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "My advisor, Helena. She told me some things that made me think you were going to get hurt badly. Helena said the only way to keep you safe was to stop talking to you. She said that about you. I believed Helena. Helena was trying to protect you, so I did what Helena said. Stayed away from you." Emma's eyes got wide. "Helena," she said, "Helena came to see me 2 days before you asked for the divorce from me. I have to tell you about Helena and what she said. Cassius went still. What was it that you just said to me? Helena came to our house when you were not there. She sat down in the kitchen. Started talking to me. She said that you were not happy with me. Helena said that you wished you had not married a being. She even showed me some messages that you and Helena sent to each other. In these messages you and Helena made jokes about humans being too clingy. Helena and you talked about this in these messages. Cassius said that he never sent those messages. His voice was really quiet. It sounded scary. He said to Emma, I need you to tell me what she said about the messages, Emma. Emma told the story of what was said. Cassius' face got really mad. His eyes got all angry. His face turned red. When Emma was done talking, Cassius stood up from his seat slowly. You could tell he was extremely upset because his body was shaking with anger that he was trying to hold. She played us both, he said in a voice. Helena made up the thing. She created evidence to make him think he had to leave her, and she turned her against him so she would not try to save their marriage. Helena did all of this on purpose. She made sure everything happened the way she wanted it to. Helena planned the thing to hurt them. Helena wanted to break their marriage. She did what she had to do to make it happen. But why? Helena has had feelings for me for a long time, 300 years to be exact. The thing is, Helena could not accept that I chose to be with a human of her. I think what really bothers Helena is that I picked a human over Helena herself. Helena has been in love with me for long. It hurts Helena that I did not feel the same way about Helena. Emma felt a chill even though the vampire blood that was inside her was warm. Cassius, what are you going to do to me that you are here with me and the vampire blood is in my veins? He said, I am going to find out exactly how deep her betrayal goes. His eyes were flashing crimson. He wanted to know what she had done. And then I am going to make sure the woman never threatens my family again, he said about the woman and her betrayal of his family. The woman's betrayal was a deal to him. As Cassius walked towards the door, Emma called out to him in a voice, Cassius, you need to be careful. If this woman went to much trouble, the woman will not give up on Cassius easily. Cassius should really watch out for the woman. He paused at the threshold, looking back at her. I've been playing the game of vampire politics for 600 years, my love. Helena is about to learn why I'm king. The Thorn Industries building stood like a piece of glass and steel against the dark night sky. Cassius walked through the lobby, his really expensive shoes making a clicking sound on the floor. The security guards stood up straight when Cassius walked by. They could tell he was a man who demanded respect. The Thorn Industries building was his place. Everyone knew it. Cassius was the boss. He walked like he owned the place, which he did. The security guards looked at him with a mix of fear and respect. They knew better than to mess with Cassius. Bernard walked 3 steps behind, talking quickly into his phone. Yes, get all the security people. The king needs the executive floor to be locked down. Nobody can go in or out without the king saying it is okay. The king wants to make sure the executive floor is completely secure. The king is very serious about this. Cassius got into his elevator and pressed his thumb on the special scanner that checks who people are. The doors shut with a whoosh sound. Then the elevator went up fast to the 80th floor. This is where the important offices for the people are, like the executive offices. Cassius was going to the offices on the 80th floor. His mind was really upset. He was very angry. Helena Voss had been the person who helped him make decisions for 200 years. She had given him advice during wars, helped him build his company, and was with him when he took control of the northeast areas where vampires lived. He had always trusted Helena Voss completely. Helena Voss had been very important to him. He could not understand why she would do something to hurt him. He thought about all the things Helena Voss had done for him. It made him even angrier. She had used the trust he gave her to ruin the time he was really happy in his life. The trust she had was very important to him. She used it to destroy his happiness. She destroyed the real happiness that the man had ever known. The elevator doors opened into the executive suite. This room was really empty now. All the people who worked there had gone home. Cassius could tell that vampires were around. He could smell them. He could even hear them breathing really quietly. The vampire presence was pretty strong. Cassius could hear the whisper of the undead breath. Helena. He yelled loud so everyone in the offices could hear him. I know you are, in here. Come out. Show yourself, Helena. A door opened at the end of the corridor. Helena came out of her office. She was wearing a white suit that made her dark hair stand out. Helena looked worried, like a mother who's concerned about her child. She really did look like she cared about something. Helena was a put-together person, and this time was no different. Cassius, what is wrong? Bernard said there was an emergency. I am worried it might be the faction. Have the European faction people made another move against us? Cassius took a look at her. The woman was really old, 400 years old, and she had gotten very good at hiding how she felt. Cassius was even older and stronger, and at that moment he was trying to find weaknesses in the woman's mask. He wanted to see if he could find any cracks in her exterior, any sign that she was not as calm as she seemed. Cassius was looking for flaws in the woman's appearance. He was looking very carefully. The woman was good at hiding her emotions. Cassius was determined to find out what she was really thinking. He was searching for any crack in the woman's facade. He told her that he found Emma tonight, and then he watched her to see how she would react. Helena's face changed fast. It was like she felt surprised, then scared, then angry. Finally she looked worried. Emma? Your ex-wife? Is Emma okay? She's pregnant, Helena. 9 months pregnant with my child. Helena was really shocked this time. Her eyes got big. Her heart started beating fast. For a second she could not keep her feelings hidden. She said, "That is impossible. Vampires cannot have babies." Cassius took a step closer to Helena. He did this slowly and on purpose. You know what, Helena, we have a deal on our hands. A damper is what we are talking about. Helena, this damper is you. You are the one to be born in a very long time, 500 years to be exact. The really crazy thing about this, Helena, is that you are growing inside the woman I was married to. I got divorced from her 6 months ago. I did this because you told me she was in danger, Helena. Cassius, I was looking out for you. The information we had was good. He was standing close to her now, and he could smell that she was not telling the truth. You see, vampires have this thing where their body changes a bit when they are lying. Was it true? He asked her. He had just found out something from Emma. Emma told him that this woman had gone to see her 2 days before he filed for divorce from her. And what she did was show Emma some messages. These messages made Emma think that he wanted to leave her, which was not true all. Helena's calm demeanor started to break down more. She is not telling the truth. Helena thinks that she is trying to make you think badly of Helena. Emma's heartbeat is steady when she talks about you. Yours is all over the place right now. Cassius walked around her in a circle of like an animal sizing up its next meal. You tricked both of us. You made up that thing about Europe to get me to do what you wanted. You turned Emma against me so she would not try to save our marriage. I did what I had to do. Helena's calm demeanor fell apart completely. Her fangs came out. Her eyes turned red. You are the king of the Northeast, Cassius. The vampire king of the Northeast does not marry humans. The vampire king of the Northeast does not show weakness. I saved the king of the Northeast from his own foolishness. Cassius said that, in a voice, but it was clear he was angry. He thought that person was jealous of him and the woman he chose. Cassius said, "You wanted me for yourself and you could not bear that I chose her," and that was a dangerous thing for him to say. Cassius was talking about the fact that he chose her, the woman he loved, and that person did not like that Cassius chose her. Helena. It was not a happy sound. It was bitter and sharp. She said, "I was definitely jealous." She had been with Cassius for 200 years. Helena had helped Cassius build everything he had. She had fought in his wars, managed his territories and solved his problems. Then Cassius married a waitress he had known for 6 months. The waitress was a human. Helena thought the waitress was not good enough for Cassius, in any way. Cassius said, "She was my wife." He was really angry. He could not control himself. The room started to get very cold because his power was getting out. You could see ice forming on the windows. "She had our baby and we were very poor because you took all our things," Cassius said. "You took everything from her. You took everything from us, from my wife and me." Helena shouted back that she took nothing. She was trying to help him with his reputation and his power. Helena would do this again because the baby that woman is having is very bad. The council is going to get rid of that baby. They will get rid of him for making the council deal with that baby. Helena thinks that the baby is a bad thing and the council will not let it live. The council will destroy the baby. They will destroy him too because of the baby. Helena said this because she really believes that the baby is an abomination and the council will not tolerate it. Cassius stopped moving. "How do you know what the council will decide to do, Helena?" She figured out what she did wrong. It was already too late. Her eyes got really big. She took a step back. "Helena," Cassius said in a quiet voice. This made what he said a lot scarier. What did Helena do? Cassius wanted to know. She said that she did what the other person could not do because they did not see it. She lifted her chin in a way. The High Council was called by her. She told the High Council about the damper. Executioner Lucian from the High Council is already going to New York. He is going there with a team that will ask a lot of questions. The team is coming to deal with the damper. Executioner Lucian and his team are on their way to New York now. Cassius felt a lot of anger inside him. This anger was something for Cassius. He had been alive for a long time and never felt this way before. The windows of the office broke into a million pieces. The glass went flying outside. The lights in the office started to flicker. Then they just stopped working. This made the office very dark. The only light came from the city below. Cassius was surrounded by darkness. The city lights were the thing that he could see. Cassius said to me, "You basically gave my child a death sentence." He said this in a voice that was really loud. It sounded like it was not from this world. He also said, "You are the one who signed the paper that said Emma has to die." Helena screamed at the top of her lungs. "I saved you from yourself," she said. "When Lucian kills them you will be free," Helena told him. "You will be the king you were meant to be. Maybe then you will finally see Helena. Maybe then you will understand that Helena is the one who has been loyal to you. Helena is the one who has truly loved you for centuries," she said to him. "Love?" Cassius said with a laugh. It was not funny. He did not think it was funny all. You do not know what love means. Love means giving things up for the person you care about. Love means believing in each other. What you feel is like you own the person. You are obsessed with them. And it is going to end. It is going to end tonight. The love that you think you have, it's not love, it is something else. Cassius was talking about love. What you have is not that. It is possession, it is obsession, and it is going to end. It is going to end tonight. He moved fast, his hand grabbing Helena's throat. He picked her up. Held her against the wall, slamming her into it so hard that the concrete behind the plaster cracked. This guy was incredibly strong. He lifted Helena off the ground like it was nothing. He was still holding her up against the wall. Helena was stuck. She could not get away from him. He had her right where he wanted her, his hand still closed around her throat. "Where is Lucian now?" Cassius asked in a voice. He really wanted to know where Lucian was at that moment. Cassius was getting a little upset because he did not have an answer to his question about Lucian. He wanted to find out what had happened to Lucian. Helena grabbed at his hand with all her might. Her super strong power was no match for his. "He is already in the city," she said. "He has 50 executioners with him. They are looking for the damper now. They are tracking the damper's energy signature as we speak, trying to find the damper. People will find the penthouse. The penthouse is what they are looking for. They will find it." Helena said that they will find it within the hour. She was really scared now. She finally understood that she had gone too far with the things she was doing. "Cassius, please," Helena said. "I was trying to help Cassius, that is all I was trying to do. You tried to hurt my family." Cassius' eyes turned red and his teeth got all sharp. "There is a place for people who do bad things, Helena. You are going to help me make things right, Helena. I am very mad at you, Helena." He threw her across the room. She went flying. Crashed through her office door. This made her land in a heap among all the wood and broken glass that was all over the place. Before she could even get up and recover from this, Cassius was already there. He grabbed her hair. Started hauling her up. Cassius was really rough when he was hauling her up by her hair. "You need to call Lucian. When you talk to Lucian, tell him that you made a mistake. You should say that the damper is not real. The damper does not exist, so tell Lucian that." "He does not believe me," Helena said, breathing heavily. "The executioner has already felt the power of the child. You cannot lie to the executioner once the executioner has found out." Helena thinks that the executioner is very good at finding out the truth. The child's power is very strong. The executioner knows it. Cassius let Emma go and walked away. His mind was thinking about what to do. He thought about all the things they could try, all the ways they could get out of there. The penthouse was not safe anymore. The whole city was not safe anymore. Cassius needed to take Emma to a place where the council could not find them. He needed to take Emma to a place where the council's old magic could not get to them. Cassius wanted to keep Emma safe from the council. He wanted to keep Emma safe from their magic. His phone buzzed. That was Dr. Julian calling him. The phone had Dr. Julian on the end. "Cassius, we have a problem. Emma's condition is getting worse. The blood transfusion is making the damper inside her grow fast. Emma is going to have her baby soon. The damper's development is happening quickly because of the blood transfusion. Cassius, Emma is in trouble. She is going into labor too early. How much time is left for the thing we are doing? We need to know how we have to finish this. It could be hours, even less than that. The baby is trying to come out. The mother is very weak. If the baby is born now, it might be very bad for her. The delivery could even kill the mother." Cassius closed his eyes. All the plans he had made fell apart. They could not run, because Emma was having a baby. They could not fight, because there were many executioners, around 50, and Lucian himself was there. And they could not hide, because the damper's power was like a signal calling to every creature in the city. The damper's power was making it impossible for them to hide. The damper's power was a big problem for them. He opened his eyes. A plan started to form in his head. This plan was really dangerous. It could even get them killed. The plan was their only chance to get out of this situation. The plan was about the plan. It was the only way they could try to survive. Bernard, Cassius said into his comm unit. "Get the helicopter on the roof ready. Make sure it has a tank of fuel and all the emergency supplies we need. The helicopter needs to be ready because we are leaving in 15 minutes. We have to get out of here, so the helicopter has to be ready to go when we are." "Where are we going, sir?" I want to know what our destination is. We have been driving for a while now and I am getting a bit curious about where we're headed. Are we going to the city or the countryside? I wish you would tell me where we are going, sir. North. To the Blackwood territories. There was a shocked silence. Sir, the werewolves, they will definitely kill us the moment they see us. The werewolves are that dangerous. I do not think they will kill me if I give them something they really want. Cassius turned back to Helena, who was looking at him with a lot of fear. The council has been chasing werewolves for a long time. They have been killing them and taking their homes. There is one group of werewolves they have never been able to hurt. The Blackwood pack that lives in the mountains, in the north. The leader of the Blackwood pack, Alpha Rowan Blackwood, has been fighting the council for 50 years. The Blackwood pack is very strong. Alpha Rowan Blackwood is very smart. Helena said this with a lot of anger. You are really going to work with wolves? She asked. That is a bad idea. The council will say you are against your people. The council wants me dead because I made a damper. Now I do not have anything to lose. Cassius picked up his phone. Started dialing a number that he promised himself he would never use again. The council is my enemy and the enemy of the council is my friend, so that means the enemy of the council is my friend. The phone rang 3 times before a rough voice answered. This had better be important, vampire. I was eating my dinner. I do not like to be disturbed when I am eating. The vampire thing is what I am talking about, vampire. I was right, in the middle of eating my dinner. Alpha Blackwood, Cassius said. This is Cassius Thorne. I really need a place to go, Alpha Blackwood, and that is why I am asking you for sanctuary, Alpha Blackwood. There was a pause, then a loud laugh. The Vampire King needs a place, from wolves? This is really funny. Why would I want to help you, Vampire King? You are a vampire, so why should I care about what happens to you, Vampire King? I will give you something in return. I will give you the location and the access codes to Executioner Lucian's archives. The archives have information about every wolf that his teams have killed in the 50 years. The archives have the names of the wolves, the dates they were killed, and the territories where they were killed. The archives have everything you need to make a complaint against the council to the Supernatural Accords Committee. You can use the information from Executioner Lucian's archives to bring formal charges against the council. There was another pause. Cassius could hear voices in the background, the sounds of a pack gathering. Cassius heard someone say, "You are serious? I have a wife who is going to have a baby. This baby is a damper. Lucian wants to hurt them bad. I need to find a place where Lucian cannot find us. This place should be somewhere his magic does not work. Your place has protection against magic. That is why I think it is the place where my wife and my baby will be safe from Lucian. My family needs to be in a place where Lucian and his magic cannot reach them. Your territories are the place for my family to hide from Lucian and his magic." A damper? Rowan said, his voice sounding different all of a sudden. He was clearly interested now. I thought dampiers did not exist anymore. So did everyone else. I am wondering if you will help me or not. I really need to know if you are going to help me with this. Will you actually help me? Just say you will and then do nothing. I need someone to help me. I was counting on you to help me. If you are not telling the truth about the archives, vampire, I will eat your heart while it is still beating. If I am not telling the truth, then you can have Google Home. Cassius was already walking towards the elevator. We will be at the hotel by dawn. Cassius said that Google Home is very nice and we will see it when we get to the hotel by dawn. He hung up the phone. Turned around to see Helena trying to crawl towards the emergency exit. Cassius quickly moved to stop her, and in a flash he was standing over her, putting his foot on Helena's back. Cassius did not want Helena to get away, so he kept his foot firmly on Helena's back. You are not going anywhere. You are coming with the police officers. The police officers want you to come with them. You have to go with the police officers. She said, why her voice was really shaky. When this is all done, the council will want someone to point a finger at. I am going to give them the person who made this mess, the architect of this disaster, and they will be ready to judge them. The council is going to need someone to blame for what happened. I think the architect of this disaster is the one who should take the fall. He pulled the woman up. Then he dragged her to the elevator. The phone in his hand started ringing. This time the person calling him was Bernard. Sir, we have a problem here. There are a lot of vehicles around the building. I am talking about SUVs, and they look like they are military grade. These black SUVs are blocking every exit from the building. The black SUVs are not letting anyone get out. How many? There are 20 vehicles, even more than that. Sir, I can actually smell them from where I am standing. These people are vampires. They are troops, the best of the best. The vampires are troops. Lucian is the one. Cassius' jaw got really tight. Lucian is moving a lot faster than Cassius thought he would. They are going to have to fight to get out of this situation with Lucian. The elevator went down fast. Cassius could feel the building shaking. It was scary. Vampire executioners were breaking into the floors, and they were getting past security easily. Cassius had a security team. They had taken vampire blood to make them stronger, but they were still no match for the council elites. The council elites were just too powerful. For Cassius' security team, the vampire executioners were taking over the building. The elevator stopped on the floor. Cassius pulled Helena along the hallway. Then he threw open the doors to his own place. Emma, we have to leave now, he yelled really loudly. He cut off the head of another soldier. Quickly turned around to stop 3 guys who were attacking him at the same time. She screamed back, I am not able to do that. Cassius, the baby is coming, she said. I can feel the baby. The baby is coming and I am not able to move, she said to Cassius. A soldier got past Cassius' defense. Ran towards the bed. The protection that Dr. Julian had put up was broken when someone used a sword. The soldier lifted up his sword to hit Emma. Helena did something without thinking it through. She had been with Cassius for 200 years. Some things were just automatic for her now. These feelings went beyond being jealous. Helena broke free from Bernard's hold. Put herself in the path of the knife. The knife went into her chest. It just missed her heart by a bit, but it still hurt her very badly. Helena got hurt seriously. Helena said, go, with a lot of effort, then she fell down. She told Cassius to take the girl and leave away. Cassius did not have time to ask Emma why she changed her mind. He picked Emma up in his arms and the medical equipment got torn off. Julian grabbed his bag. Went after them. Bernard started shooting with a shotgun that had silver bullets to protect Emma and the others. They ran for the stairwell that went to the roof where the helicopter landed. Behind them, Lucian walked really calmly through all the bodies and damage, stepping over the dead bodies of his own men without caring. The man said to Thorn, you cannot run from the council, Thorn. His voice was loud. It went up the stairwell. There is no place in this world where you can hide from the council, he said to Thorn. The roof was really crazy with wind and rain over the place. The helicopter was sitting there waiting for them, its rotors already turning around. Cassius basically tossed Emma into the seat and then he climbed in after her. Julian and Bernard jumped in too. The helicopter took off into the air just as Lucian came out onto the roof. The helicopter was flying away. Lucian was left standing there on the roof watching them go. The executioner raised both of his hands. The helicopter shook hard. It was like something was grabbing it and trying to pull the helicopter down to the ground. The engines were making a lot of noise, they were screaming. Smoke was coming out of the engines because they were working hard. The pilot shouted that the man is using telekinesis. We are stuck. The pilot said that we cannot break free from the telekinesis. Cassius looked out the window. He saw Lucian standing really calmly in the storm. There was blood coming from Lucian's nose because Lucian was using a lot of power. The helicopter was being smashed like it was a can. "Emma, I really need you to do something," Cassius said in a hurry, holding her hand tightly. She said, "What?" She was really surprised. Her face was all scrunched up because she was in a lot of pain from having a baby. "The baby, our baby, is a damper. This damper has a lot of power. In fact, the damper has power than any vampire that is alive. I want you to wake the baby up. I want you to talk to our son, the damper, and tell the damper to fight. I really have no idea how to do this. The thing is, I am completely stuck and I do not know what to do. I wish I could figure out how to do it. I just do not know how." "Yes, you do. You are his mother. Talk to your son." Emma closed her eyes, pressed both hands to her belly. She did not know if this was going to work. Emma was really scared. She was in a lot of pain. Emma decided to try it anyway. She spoke to the baby with her heart, not with her voice. Emma just hoped that the baby would hear her. "Baby," she thought to herself in a desperate way. "My son is what I was thinking. We really need you. Your father needs you too. Please, I am begging you, help us, my son." The baby that was a damper, inside his mother's tummy, heard his mother calling him. The damper child responded to his mother's call. A big burst of power came out of Emma's body. It was like a wave of energy that went out in all directions. This wave was so strong that it even reached the roof. Lucian was standing on the roof. He stumbled backward. He lost his focus. The helicopter was being held by a force, but this force let go of the helicopter. Emma's power was really strong. It changed everything. The helicopter was finally free to move because the invisible grip on the helicopter was gone. The plane took off fast. It just made it over the edge of the building. Cassius turned around to look at Lucian, who was still staring after the aircraft. His face was not showing any emotion. Cassius thought about the aircraft. How it was now getting away from Lucian. The flight north was really bad. Emma's labor was moving fast. Her loud screams filled the whole small cabin. Dr. Julian tried his best to make Emma feel better. There was not much Dr. Julian could do when they were so high up at 10,000 feet, in a helicopter that was shaking a lot. "How longer do we have to wait?" Cassius asked, holding Emma's hand really tight as Emma squeezed his hand so hard it felt like his bones were going to break. The pilot said, "We will be at the Blackwood territories in 2 hours. Then he said, "I have a problem, sir. I see a lot of planes on the radar. The other planes are following the Blackwood territories plane that we're on." "Lucian's reinforcements," Bernard said in a tone, checking his weapons to make sure everything was ready. "He has called in the Eastern contingent, which is a big deal," Bernard thought to himself, looking at Lucian's reinforcements with a lot of concern. "How many? There are at least 5 helicopters, maybe even more than that. The helicopters are faster than the cars we're in. The helicopters will catch up to the cars before the cars reach the border." Cassius looked at Emma. He saw the agony on her face. He saw how her body was suffering because of the baby she was carrying. It was a tough thing for her to go through. Cassius had been in battles. He had fought against armies and won. He had even taken over lands. Seeing Emma in so much pain was very hard for him. He wanted to help her. He did not know how. This was worse than any hurt he had ever felt before. Cassius loved Emma. It was sad for him to see her like this. The baby was causing her a lot of trouble. Cassius had been through difficult things, but this was the hardest thing for him to deal with. He felt helpless because he could not make Emma's pain go away. He said sorry to her in a quiet voice and he pressed his forehead against hers. He was really sorry for everything that happened. She deserved a person than him. He felt bad for what he did. He wanted her to know that. "Be quiet," Emma said, catching her breath between pains. "You cannot give up on us now, Cassius Thorne. We are going to make it through this. All three of us, Cassius Thorne, are going to be okay. I went through a tough time for 9 months to have our baby. I do not want to lose you now, Cassius Thorne, when we are almost there." He was still smiling. He said, "You are the person I have ever known. I am absolutely right. Now I need you to take me to those werewolves before I give birth to this baby in a helicopter. I do not want to have this baby in a helicopter. I have to get to those werewolves as soon as possible. Those werewolves are my priority now." The Northern Territories were entered as the dawn came. The mountains stood up like guards and the tops of the mountains were covered in mist. Below, big forests went on forever and you could see them as far as your eyes could look. This was the place that the werewolves had owned for thousands of years and nobody else had touched it. The werewolves had lived in these forests and mountains for a long time. The pilot said, "Look." He pointed. "The Blackwood compound is there." A big lodge came into view through the trees and it was surrounded by super high walls and towers with guards in them. Cassius was looking at this place from up high. He could see hundreds of wolves walking around the place and they were, in both shape and wolf shape. The wolves were everywhere. As the people went down, a dozen wolves came out of nowhere. Started flying alongside them. These wolves were really big. They were able to keep up with the helicopter. The wolves had eyes that were glowing in the early morning light. The people were surrounded by these wolves in flight and it was a pretty scary thing to see. The wolves just kept pace with the helicopter, their eyes still glowing in the dawn light. The moment the plane landed in the courtyard, it was surrounded by werewolves who looked like people. Alpha Rowan Blackwood was standing at the front of the werewolves. He was the leader of the pack, Alpha Rowan Blackwood. He was right there, in front of them. Rowan was really big, 7 feet tall with shoulders that looked like a huge mountain. His hair was very long and had threads of silver in it. His face was rough from fighting in wars for a very long time. Rowan wore things like jeans and a leather jacket, but Rowan had a lot of power that made even Cassius think he was someone to be respected. Rowan just seemed to have this power around him that commanded respect from people, like Cassius. Rowan said this to the vampire, "You have a lot of nerve coming to my door, with council enforcers." He was really mad. The helicopters were flying around above them, going in circles. They looked like birds waiting for something to die. Rowan pointed up at the helicopters, still talking to the vampire. Cassius said, "I brought you what I promised," as he climbed out carefully. He really needed the healers now. His wife was having a baby. She was in a lot of pain. If the healers did not help her away, something bad could happen to her and the baby. Emma was lying in bed. She looked really sick and was sweating a lot. Her hand was on her belly. Dr. Julian was standing next to her, looking at the machines that were beeping around her. "Cassius," Emma said, her voice shaking. "Something is really wrong with Cassius. Cassius is coming. Cassius wants to get out of here now." Cassius said, "We need to get out of here. The council is already inside the building. We do not have a lot of time, we only have a minute, at the most. The council is coming for us. We have to move." A big explosion happened in the penthouse. The main doors were blown inside. They broke into a lot of tiny pieces with smoke everywhere. Then a person walked through all the things, and this person was so scary that even Cassius, who is really old, felt afraid. The person was really frightening to Cassius. Executioner Lucian was a tall guy and very thin too. He wore the black robes that the council's Inquisition people wear. His face did not look young or old, it was just between. Executioner Lucian had eyes that were very cold, they seemed to know that death was coming. Executioner Lucian had been taking care of threats for a very long time, like 800 years. In all that time, Executioner Lucian never messed up a single job. Behind him stood 30 vampire soldiers in tactical gear, all armed with blessed silver weapons designed to kill their own kind. Cassius Thorne, Lucian said in a voice almost gentle. You have made something really bad, Cassius Thorne, by breaking the third covenant. Give me the human and the damper, Cassius Thorne, and I will make sure you die quickly. If you do not give them to me, I will make you watch, Cassius Thorne, as I hurt them badly while they are still alive. Cassius stepped in front of Emma's bed. He was holding his sword. This was not any sword. Cassius had been carrying this sword with him for a long time, since the Crusades. The sword had been used to hurt a lot of people, thousands of them. Cassius looked at Lucian. Said, you will have to go through me, Lucian. Lucian said, if you insist. Then he raised his hand. The 30 soldiers charged as one. What happened next is something that vampires will always remember as the Penthouse Massacre. The vampire king of the Northeast, Cassius Thorne, was fighting by himself against bad odds. He was doing this to protect his family, the people he cares about. Cassius Thorne was very brave to do this. The Penthouse Massacre is a big part of vampire history because of what Cassius Thorne did. Cassius was really scary when he moved. His sword was like a flash of silver, and it was moving so fast. The first 3 soldiers did not even get close to him. They fell down before they could even get halfway to Cassius. Their heads rolled around on the carpet. Cassius used the bodies of the soldiers he killed to block the soldiers who were coming towards him. He threw the bodies at the other soldiers to mess up their lines and make it harder for them to fight. Cassius kept using the soldiers to shield himself from the other soldiers who were trying to attack him. Dr. Julian put up a kind of protection around Emma's bed. This protection was very old. It glowed with a purple light. Helena was still being held by Bernard. She watched what was happening with her hands over her mouth. She was scared. She was also very interested in what Dr. Julian was doing with the magical barrier around Emma's bed. The magical barrier was really something to see. Cassius was really good at fighting. He killed the vampires quickly and easily. He was very precise. Made sure they did not get back up. The problem was that there were just too many of them. The vampires were also well trained and they knew how to fight. For every vampire that Cassius killed, 2 more vampires came at him. The vampires had silver blades. They cut through Cassius' suit, which made him get hurt very badly. He had burning wounds over his arms and his chest. Cassius was getting hurt from the silver blades. The vampires just kept coming at him. Cassius said, my wife is in labor, and if she does not get help immediately, she and the child will die. He was very worried about his wife and the baby. Rowan's eyes got really big when he smelled Emma. He said, Emma is a human. The woman is carrying a damper. The damper is ready to be born. The damper is going to come out. The alpha's face changed. He started thinking hard. He lifted his hand. Some female wolves came running up to him. These female wolves were the pack's healers. They were like witches who had a gift. They could use magic to help people and animals feel better. The alpha and the pack's healers, these witches with life magic, were very important to the pack. Rowan said to take the woman to the place where babies are born. He told them to make sure she does not die. Rowan wanted the woman to stay alive. The healers carefully lifted Emma from the helicopter. Emma cried out because another contraction was happening to Emma. Cassius wanted to go with Emma. Then Rowan put his really big hand on Cassius' chest. We need to talk about the payment, vampire. This is not about me, it is about the payment that is owed. We have to discuss the payment, vampire. I promised you that. The archives belong to you now. I am giving you the archives. The archives are what you wanted. They are yours. Rowan said, I will collect that debt from you. Right now we have a really big problem. Rowan pointed up at the sky. The council helicopters were coming down to land at the edge of our territory. They were landing outside the magical wards that protect us. Lucian stepped out of the helicopter. He was surrounded by a lot of soldiers, it looked like 100 of them. Cassius said that the man is going to attack. The man is going to do something and Cassius knows it. Cassius said the man is going to attack. Let him try. My wards will keep him out. If he tries to breach the wards by force, he will start a war with every werewolf pack in North America. The council is very powerful. They are not foolish enough to fight every werewolf pack at the same time. The werewolf packs and the council know that would be a mistake. The werewolf packs will stand together. The council will think carefully before they do anything to hurt the werewolf packs. You do not know Lucian. Lucian does not care about what happens. Lucian will set your forest on fire just to get to my child. Rowan looked at him for a long time. You really care about her, do you not? The human, I mean. You really love this human. More than my own existence. And the child? This person is innocent. The power he has and the threat the council thinks he is, that is not his fault. He deserves a chance to live his life. The council should give this person a chance. He did not ask for the power he has. This person just wants to live. The council should let him live his life. He deserves that much. This person is innocent. The council should give him a chance to live. Rowan grunted. You know what your kind did to my family, vampire? 50 years ago the council executioners came to our pack. They killed my parents and my siblings and 37 of my people. The council did this to us because we would not give up our land for one of the developments. I have a lot of reasons to hate the vampires and everything the vampires stand for. What they do make me very angry. I am still mad about what the vampires did to my family and my pack. Cassius said this in a voice. I know, he said. If things were the way around, I do not think I would help Cassius. You are not me. Rowan's face was really angry. Then it got a little softer. Wolves think family is the important thing. We always keep our kids safe no matter what happens. That is something we never thought you would do. You get that now. You are fighting for your kid like any wolf would fight for their young. A loud howl cut through the air. It was really sad. It went on for a long time. The howl came from the lodge. The baby is being born, Rowan said. Come with me. You really need to be when the birth happens. The people ran through the compound. The wolves got out of the way for the alpha. Inside the lodge there was this big round room where babies are born. It was lined with animal skins and had lots of candles all around. Emma was lying down in the middle of this room and the pack's healers were around her. The sounds of Emma screaming were bouncing off the walls of the birthing room. Cassius fell to his knees beside her. He took her hand. He said to her, I am here. I am here, my love. Cassius is here, for you, my love. It really hurts, she cried. Cassius, I think something is wrong with me. Cassius, he is just too strong for me. Cassius, he is literally tearing me apart. One of the healers, a woman named Sage, said something very important. The child is trying to be born. The child is fighting this. The vampire instincts of the child are making the child hold on to the mother. If the healers do not get the child out of the mother in the few minutes, the child and the mother will both die. The vampire instincts of the child are very strong. This is causing a big problem for the healers and the mother and the child. Cassius said that they should get rid of him. He told them to cut him out. Cassius really wanted him to be gone. We tried to cut him. It did not work. The man's skin is too tough for our knives. The fact that he is a damper is the reason for this. His damper heritage has made the man nearly invulnerable to our blades. The damper heritage is what makes him so strong. Cassius looked at Emma. He saw the pain over her body and he knew what he had to do. He pulled out his fangs. Bit down on his own wrist, making a big cut. The blood from Cassius started coming out. It was old and very powerful. He told me to make her drink this. I had to give her all of it. The vampire said this will finish what he started with the blood transfusion. This will give the girl healing. The vampire healing is what he wants for her. Dr. Julian said that is not an idea. That could kill her. The woman is too weak to become a vampire now. A full turning is too much, for her. Cassius shouted that she is already dying. He said this is her chance to live. Cassius really believes that this is the way to save her life. He thinks that if they do not do this she will die for sure. Cassius said that they have to try this because it's her only hope. Emma looked up at him, her eyes were blurry, from the pain. Will saving the baby be possible? She asked about the baby. Will the baby be okay if they do this? Yes. Then do it. Cassius pressed his bleeding wrist to Emma's lips. At first she started choking, but then she was swallowing really fast because her body knew what it needed. It did not take long to see the difference. Emma's skin was really pale. Now it was getting some color back. Her eyes were getting dull. Now they were sharp and bright again. She had been screaming. She stopped because the vampire healing was fixing her torn skin. The vampire regeneration was helping Emma's body fix itself fast. Sage was really excited. The baby! Sage shouted. The baby is moving. Emma gave one big push. Then the baby came out. The healers caught it. The room was suddenly full of light. The damper child was finally here. Everything felt okay. Emma felt happy that the damper child was born. The baby did not cry. He made a sound that was like a shout. It was very loud and strong. This sound made all the candles in the room catch on fire. They were burning really high. The wolves were scared and they moved back. They were very afraid of the baby and the fire from the candles. The baby let out this loud shout again. It was still very powerful. The wolves were still moving away from the baby. Cassius looked at his son. His son was really perfect. He was tiny. You could already see the muscles and bones in his small body. Then his son's eyes opened. They were a molten gold color. His son looked at him and Cassius felt a strong connection to his son. This connection was even stronger than any promise or magical tie that Cassius had ever known. The connection between Cassius and his son was very powerful. Emma said that the baby is beautiful. She whispered this. Reached for the baby with hands that were shaking a lot. The baby is really beautiful, Emma thought to herself as she looked at the baby. Sage put the baby on Emma's chest gently. When the mother and the baby touched, the feeling in the room changed. It felt warm and nice of scary. The baby snuggled up against Emma. Made soft little noises. Rowan asked what they would call the baby. She walked up to them carefully. Cassius looked at Emma. They had not talked about names before. They did not even dare to think that they would both make it through this thing alive. For some reason they just knew what the other person was thinking about names. Cassius and Emma both knew. Asher, Emma said in a voice. This name means that the person is blessed and also very fortunate. The reason for this is that even though a lot of things have happened and there has been a lot of pain and fear and it seemed like things were impossible, Asher is still blessed and fortunate. Asher Thorn, Cassius said again. The name Asher Thorn sounded really good when he said it. Something big happened at the compound. It was like an explosion. The alarm started going off over the lodge. Then this person who was really a wolf came running into the room. The wolf in form was very upset and caused a big scene in the chamber. The explosion and the alarms and the wolf in form were all very scary. Alpha. The vampire executioner has broken through the wards. He is not fighting, he is just walking through. The executioner is just walking through them like the wards do not exist.